We're the World Championship of Drone Racing Teams, the DCL. I'm Matt Andrews and welcome to the second day of racing in our all-new Falcon Cup, the first of 3 new tournaments that we're bringing you in 2025. And here on our second day, we've got 2 brilliant matchups for you to look forward to. The first one features some pilots we used to know in the DCL who have now regrouped and formed a brand new team. They're called Phoenix Racing. They're going to be taking on Raiden Racing, who last time beat the reigning world champions, so they are no pushover. In our second matchup, we'll be seeing SDT Spain drone team, and this one is extra tasty, as they're going up the Wildcard team, who feature their former captain. So both teams, a little bit extra reason that they want to prevail. We return to where the DCL was born. This is the capital of Liechtenstein. It's Vidut, a beautiful location, and there is a power loop on its government building. Before we fly over the top of it, duck down through this gate here, then a right-hand turn through the Foxear gate takes you to these 2 on the castle wall. Before we then go up and around the back of the government building, then it's a right turn, left turn through the DCL gate, then a right turn, left turn, and head to St. Florian's Cathedral. The lap ends with a really difficult dive down here, and we're going to fly this lap 3 times. So our first quarterfinal, here we go in the Falcon Cup with Phoenix Racing against Raiden Racing. We're going to start off with Minjay and Atakan against Vicen Mayan and IQ0. This is a really international heat. Minjay's from South Korea, Atakan's from Turkey, Vicen Mayan for Raiden, he's from Spain, and IQ0 is from all the way over in Australia. Through the loops, round the back of the government building, then we drop down, go through this slalom, right and left, then another right and left as we head to St. Florian's Cathedral, and here come the drop, the rings downwards, and Minjay's hit the second one. That's plummeted him through the pack. Now Mayans is ahead of him in second, and it's Atakan leading this time for Phoenix Racing through the A2RL gate onto the second lap, and Atakan hits that Orca gate on the big split S turn, and Mayan goes up into first. Difficult to catch at any time. He loves chasing pilots towards the end of a race. This time he's in the lead, and they're coming around to the latter stages of lap number 2. This is where Minjay clipped the rings before, but that was brilliant, and that's taken a chunk out of Vicen Mayan's lead. And now they race on to lap number 3. Through the rings, Minjay still in second for Phoenix. Vicen Mayan in the lead. Looks like it's going to be one of them getting the win. IQ0 perhaps a little bit too far behind, but he's got Atakan close to him. And there's points in every one of these places. You don't want to let any of it slip. Now Mayan leads everybody across the rooftops, and here come those rings again. Minjay was great on lap 2. No, he's missed it on lap 3. Oh no! He didn't go through the middle gate. He had to spin around again. That put him in third with his teammate Atakan behind him. Now 1-2 for Raiden, led by this man. Here's another look at lap 1 where Minjay bounced off that middle ring. That gave Atakan, his teammate, the lead, but unfortunately he gave that away when he hit the Orca gate there. And on the final lap, Minjay, you see him spiralling around as he had to come back for that middle ring again. So that was a bit costly for Phoenix as they handed maximum points to Raiden. Let's see if Trinx and Burkan can pull it back against Shane and Yuki. Out of the blocks we head and around the car park, and a little bit of a slower start for Trinx, and he's starting to lag behind already. Everybody up through the rings. No, Trinx has to go for it again. He's only just made it through. That's a disastrous start on his debut in the DCL. Trinx about 4 going on 5 seconds behind already. Yuki and Shane leading Burkan and Trinx now across the rooftops. And the gaps opening up. This race doesn't seem as close as the one we had before. These 3 pilots all snaking very nicely down onto the start of lap number 2, and Trinx trying to get that to flow together for him as well. But this race, because it's so short, I think it's already too far away from him. Shane leading his teammate Yuki to the rings, and Burkan's just clipped one of them. Oh, he's got to complete that again. So now he's lost a lot of time, and this is looking like Phoenix are going to be nowhere in the picture. The drop down for Shane. Yuki swinging it a little bit more widely than Shane was. Shane's really got this track dialed in very quickly. Yuki's now lost a couple more tenths on his teammate. There's about 8 tenths between them, and it might just stretch to more like a second now as Shane is doing that so very well. And as he weaves into the slalom, he's almost 2 seconds ahead of Yuki at times. Yuki, of course, won't want to be beaten by anybody, but if he's going to be, at least it's his teammates, and he does. Oh, and he's only just made the finish himself. Had to snake his way into that after just missing that really tight turn out of the dive. Trinx brings it in now. Raiden with another 1-2, and massively so. Just under 10 seconds between first and fourth. Well done to Shane, his first win of 2025, and I think only just transferred to the team from Quad Force 1. Looks like he's settling in very well. This is Yuki trying to catch him at the end. Just watch Yuki's turn out of the block trade. Only just. That's the sort of thing that loses you a place in a tighter race. Big heat time. All 8 pilots. A lot of points available. And Phoenix need all of them. They have to come in first, second, third, and fourth. That would get them 10 points. That is the only way they are going to outscore Raiden. A much better start for Trinks. Everybody within a quarter of a second. All 8 pilots weaving their way now around the back of the government building. We're on board with Minjae in the chase. He's got Visenmayan behind him. He's got Shane in front of him, and those rings that have caught him out twice, they're looming. And it's all good this time. That was a brilliant dive by Minjae. When he gets it, he really gets it, but he's missed that pylon. No, Minjae, the easier part, going around that pylon turn. That has sent him down into 6th place as he turns just again fractionally too soon. Trying so aggressively to keep up with Raiden, well, that has cost him, unfortunately, and now it's only their pilot Atakan who's in the scoring positions. And Shane is coming down through the rings, and Visenmayan is in second, just ahead of Atakan, so he's definitely got a chance to gain some more points, but it's looking very, very unlikely that anyone else from Phoenix can come and back him up, although Minjae's doing his best to charge back up through the field. But out in front, it's still Shane, and then Visenmayan. Atakan still behind them in third, with only a few turns left to go on this third lap, and the drop down will see Shane ahead of Visen, and Atakan with a really strong move at the end, but not quite enough. He's got third. Yuki from Raiden gets the other one of the points remaining, and that is another 1-2 for Raiden, and a little bit more. Shane, 2 wins out of 2 in 2025. It was very tight at the beginning. This is when everybody was within that quarter of a second. But it's a short race. You really can't afford to make any mistakes. And this is Visen doing everything he can to catch up with Shane, his new teammate. But Shane is really, really good around here. An 8-2 result in the big heat means that Raiden beat Phoenix by a big score of 22 points to 8. They're a really strong lineup, getting off to a great start in 2025. They're our first semi-finalist in the Falcon Cup, whereas Phoenix will now go and battle in the rebound round quarterfinals next time. Well, let's take a look at our other quarterfinal on this side of the bracket. Spain Drone Team, Sally One and Red Sheep. They're up against the Wildcard teams, Danube and the Bob. And this is what we've been waiting for, as this is the first year that Danube has not been racing for SDT. He's up against his old teammates, some of whom he's flown with for years and years, some of whom he used to be the captain of. Now he's on the wildcard team with the Bob, who made a big impression on day 1 of the Falcon Cup. He's down in 4th. Red Sheep, brilliant young pilot for SDT, just ahead of him. And there's only 1500ths of a second between Danube and the leader at the moment, who is Sally One for SDT. So here's Danube's chase and passing him onto the start of lap number 2. Can Danube get away from there? Well, Sally One won't make it easy for him, and he certainly won't want to see anybody in front of him, and he doesn't because they are side by side. And Sally One pushing now towards the cathedral past Danube. Just a little tighter on some of the slalom turns leading up to it. That's where he made his move, and now we've got 1 lap to go, and Danube is all over the back of Sally One. We're coming up to where he overtook him 1 lap ago as he swings around the roof. Different approaches to the Orca gates. Look at that, they cross paths. And Danube, trying to be on the inside afterwards, has got the lead. Sally One takes it back from him. Oh, this is going to switch back and forth again. We'll go into the cathedral. Sally One was better on the approach, but he's in second this time. Here's the ring drop. Don't mess it up. And Danube gets him.
No.
And look how pleased he is to beat his old team.
Insane.
Yes.
Whoa.
Well done, boys. That's a win.
Against Sally.
That is a
Cracked,
fucking win.
guys. Cracked.
Well done.
I haven't seen Danube celebrating like that in years. The Bob coming in 3rd, Sally One between them, Red Sheep down in 4th. So there's Danube with a win in 2025, and he's so pleased about it, as he should be. He really fought for that one, and against Sally One, who's one of the best pilots we have and a former world champion of the DCL. For the second race, let's meet their teammates. It's a new one for SDT. Ion has transferred from the China Dragons. He's with Captain Silvio. They're up against Gilbert and Nemuo. Gilbert we've seen in the DCL a few years ago. Nemuo, like the Bob, in his very first season. Everyone through that power loop of rings and round A to RL, and oh no, Nemuo hits that pylon absolutely square on. Sometimes you can bounce from them and keep going, but that one stopped him in his tracks. He's got a bit of catching up to do ahead of him. Silvio and Ion, they're trying to catch Nemuo's teammate though. Gilbert, who's got off to a really good start here. Let's see what happens with this ring drop. Oh, a little bit rocky for Ion, but it wasn't bad at all. The descent was pretty rapid. Still Silvio and ahead, Wildcard's Gilbert to catch up with. Gilbert's turn's a little bit wide, Ion's a little bit wider. Going into that Orca gate, just lost a tenth or two there as well. So it's now looking like Gilbert and Silvio are the tight ones battling for 1 and 2. And Ion can get back in contact with them. But he's going to need to do excellently here at the end of lap number 2. Silvio did really well there. It's now less than a tenth between him and Gilbert. And Gilbert's going to have to tighten these turns. And Silvio is usually very tight with his. Gilbert leads them again to the Orca gate. This could be his win, but Silvio's gone through him now. And he's out in the lead. And it's only 0.05 of a second, so Gilbert can still get that win back. But Silvio's not giving much room to spare now. He's hugging everything really tightly. But here comes Gilbert. And what a drop that is. He's got him at the finish.
Oh!
Let's
What?
go!
Oh!
Woo!
I clipped.
Right,
What?
we're 1 point up, boys. 1 point go.
Okay. This is doable.
They can't believe they got the win. I'm sure Silvio can't believe what happened to him either. Gilbert in front of him out of that final dive. What an incredible route down that was. Congratulations, Gilbert. And they'll be realizing that in fact they are 2 points up against SDT going into the big heat. Unbelievably, Gilbert was 0.45 seconds behind at the top of the cathedral, but at the finish gate, he was 0.48 seconds ahead. In this big heat, SDT are under a bit more pressure than maybe they would have expected. All of their pilots now up against all of the wildcard teams. The wildcard team with this 2 points advantage, they just need to score at least 4 points to take it to a tiebreak. At least 5, and they'll be the ones in the semi-finals. Sally won ahead of all of the wildcard team, and then SDT behind all of them at the moment, although Red Sheep went from 8th to 7th to 6th to 5th. He's up to 4th and now 3rd. Bob is the only one splitting him and this pilot, Sally won, and as they go to the cathedral, Red Sheep moves up in a second. He turns 9 next week. What an amazing young pilot he is. He's just dropped out of the scoring for now. Silvio is the one who's in there in that top 4. So right now this isn't enough for SDT. They'll just get 5 points and the wildcard team will be very happy with the 5 that they'll take. So Silvio and Red Sheep, now they move. Yes, now they are starting to fill up into the top 4 places. The Bob, the only one of the wildcard team who's in there, he's doing everything he can in second to keep hold of that second place. And Nemuo is hovering around 4th. And if Nemuo, the other debutant for the wildcard team, can get that 4th in front of Red Sheep, that'll make it 6 points and 4, and that'll take us to a tie-break. Nemuo trying to grab that one, the Bob trying to hang on to his. Silvio's only a few tenths behind him with Red Sheep as well. Nemuo's trying to get past them, but I think it's Silvio 3rd and Red Sheep keeps SDT alive.
Oh,
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. I thought I missed the checkpoint. I thought I missed the checkpoint. Ah.
It's alright, it's alright. That's unfortunate. That's just unfortunate.
3 excellent races in that matchup. The third one won by Sally One, and that was absolutely vital for SDT. The wildcard team were really close to taking a life off of them. And the first 2 races in this series were won by Danube and Gilbert, but they were nowhere to be seen in the big heat. It was their new pilots, the Bob and Nemuo, who were keeping them alive. SDT come out of this 7 points to 3 winners. Overall, that makes it 16 points to 14, as close a win as you can get. SDT will progress on to our semi-finals, and the wildcard team will lose one of their 2 lives and have to fight on through the elimination bracket. And in that elimination bracket, the wildcard team will next fly against Quad Force 1, a team that they beat by a tiny margin last time they raced, so a rematch. And Quad Force 1 will be looking for their revenge. In the other match in the first stages of the elimination bracket, we've got 2 teams who have lost very heavily, both to Raiden Racing. One of them is Phoenix Racing, who have nothing to lose as they are a brand new team. The other team is Cyclone Racing, and they are the reigning world champions. Phoenix against Cyclone, and Quad Force 1 against the Wildcard team. Both of those matches coming to you in our next episode, so join us all here at the Drone Champions League for the next stage of the Falcon Cup and some do or die elimination races. And before then, of course, we will see you in the skies!